Don't want to hear about what you think. So again, same field. If I was a betting man, let's rip that one. Today I wanted to show you a way of finding your game on the range before you hit the golf course. We're going to go through a process of finding the best way to hone your golf perfect for the first tee. I've got myself a little 50-degree wedge here, and I'm going to talk you through the best way to get yourself primed up to take the cash off the girls and boys. So we're just going to get ourselves loosened up here. Very, very fortunate to have a bit of grass down here at Gatton Manor, a great little golf course down in Dorking. If you haven't checked it out, do so online. Got a lot of big things going on here. And so all I'm doing here is I'm just trying to warm up the body. There's nothing real technical going on just yet. I'm just feeling my way in here. As I say, I'm hitting some shots at around the 50-yard mark. And I think when I see amateur golfers warm up, invariably they go straight into a 7-iron, trying to make full swings. And when they're doing that, the contact is invariably coming out pretty darn awfully. And it takes them a dozen or so shots before they even get some decent contacts on the golf ball. At 50, 60, 70 yards, you can see these golf swings are pretty short and they're fairly low energy. And that really enables me to feel like I'm not stressing my body. And when you're not stressing your body, you're not having to reach out for contact. It feels like I'm very much within myself. And that's super important when you're warming up, because what this is all about is about building confidence. It's not about destroying it. So, and look, and on the European Tour, DP World Tour, the best players in the world will be teeing the ball up. They can have perfect conditions. They'll either stick a really, really low tee in the ground, or they'll get their club, whack the turf, bring up a bit of turf, and then pop the ball on the top. And the reason for that is because what the golfer doesn't want to do is dig for that golf ball. When you start digging for that golf ball, nasty things happen. So you can see, I mean, what have I hit here? Probably 8 or 10 shots now, and I'm still not anywhere near a full swing. I'm just getting myself oiled up, juiced up, ready to take on some longer shots. But really at the moment, it's all about feeling down at the bottom of the swing here. I'm allowing this lever to swing, because when that lever swings, it gives me a sense that I've got some energy. And a lot of you out there will go, well, Stuart, that looks like that's a bit flicky down at the bottom. But it would only be flicky if my trunk wasn't moving, wouldn't it? If I just moved the golf club like this, that would be flicky. But if I'm actually moving my trunk and I'm allowing the golf club to swing, actually I'm having harmony with my body and my levers to get the ball coming out. So I'm feeling good mobility, I'm feeling movement with my trunk, I'm feeling movement with my pelvis, and the movement with my pelvis is coming through my feet. If you've watched enough of my content, you will have seen that my feet are trying to open my pelvis up. And if I'm opening my pelvis up and I'm moving my chest around, then I need to feel like the club is setting, being pulled and swinging down at the bottom. So I feel like all of the components that go into this movement are really starting to work out here. And it's at a low level, which allows me to feel like I've got some freedom. Got my young dog here, young Barnabas, digging a hole, which I'm not surprised you're doing. But equally, I'm not sure the greenkeepers are going to be too fussed on that, but we'll have to fill that in a minute. So there's my right leg, opening my right hip up. I'm allowing the club to set itself. I'm then going to pull the club. I'm going to swing the club. I'm going to use my left leg to open my hip up and free myself up to the target. And that's very much how I start to move the golf club. As you may have seen, that was a flat out thin, but doesn't bother me because this is just warm up. I'm talking you through what I'm feeling and how I'm allowing myself to apply the golf club to the golf ball. So I've played some nice shots there with my 50-degree wedge. If out of all of the clubs that I hit in my warm-up, I'm doing it with the 50 degrees, that's the most amount of shots I'll play with any club. From here, I'm now going to talk you through what it looks like with the longer irons. So we've now moved up to the 9-iron. Again, you can see on the ground here I've got this club shaft. It's a bit old school, but let me tell you, it really gives me some clear definition. You'll be able to see on the screen there I'm going at this red flag here. And so that club shaft on the ground gives me some good proprioception of where I am in space, gives me some good alignment, and gives me a really good agenda of what I feel through my chest relative to the target, because that chest orientation relative to the target is crucial when we're setting up to the golf ball in practice and how we're going to carry that on out onto the golf course. So again, I've got all of my assets. My asset is my right foot in my backswing, my right foot, my golf club feeling like it's going to load. I'm feeling the pressure through my feet. I'm pulling the club, I'm swinging the handle. Now, again, that sounds like to many of you like there's a lot going on there, but it's no different to a conductor conducting his orchestra and really trying to take control of all of the different assets. Any complex movement, as we know, that this is a fairly complex movement, but let me tell you, there is a lot that you can really start to automate when the patterns of movement are sympathetic with each other, rather than these nasty movements, these round peg, square hole objectives that a lot of instruction is pushing you towards. So right leg into the left leg, and I'm really focused on feeling how my leg action is really giving me the opportunity to move my lower half, because it's really through strike that my lower half here really allows me to free up and get my arm pitch moving around me so that I can feel like my back is nice and free. And when my back's nice and free, it allows me to feel like I can generate some speed through the golf ball. So this left leg really frees my back up, really allows me to unload the golf club and start to feel how my levers can be efficient. Now, I would never go more than 4 shots with one golf club, so this is now my 4th shot with the 9-iron. So let's use that left leg, let's allow those levers to unload. Lovely stuff. Onto the 7-iron. What's key when it comes to warming up is that you're not getting too put off by whatever is happening with the golf shots themselves. All you're really trying to do is stick to the task in hand and feeling like the movement is all you're after. And if you can really detach yourself from the golf shot, the less you can be involved in the golf shot and the more you can be involved in your movement, the more comfortable you'll feel with actually how you're applying the club to the ball. So I'm really trying to detach myself from outcome as much as I possibly can and really feel how I'm trying to move myself in space. And that's really important, because what we don't want to do is decide our day on this range session when we've invariably just got out of the car, probably haven't got yourself down the gym and haven't done your stretches, which I haven't done any of. So there's my 4 shots with the 7-iron, and irrespective of whether I've hit those good or bad, it's not going to make me stay with the 7-iron. So I need to get that 5-iron in hand. So now I'm onto the 5-iron. I'm really thinking about exactly the same stuff, you know, all of my ingredients, and whatever your ingredients are, I'm always trying to keep those in the forefront of my mind, as I say, rather than getting involved with how the golf ball is coming out, because it's so easy to be so involved with the golf shot itself. And as I say, at this stage in the day, I think it's actually a really tough ask to allow yourself to feel like you could actually hit the best shots you possibly can when you're A, not a full-time golfer, B, you're hitting off of the grass, and it always makes a golfer feel like they're trying to dig at the golf ball. It's so easy to get diggy at the golf ball and not feel like that club is swinging and collecting it off the turf. You know, you look at the best players in the world and we really see contacts with the turf in a very light manner. We really don't see big divots, really very light indeed. And that's really my focus, really controlling the low point of the golf swing, really trying to lift it up off the ground and really feeling like I can just collect it. So pick a number, pick a number of shots per club. You can guesstimate how much time you've got, but pick that number and don't allow whether the shots are good or bad to determine whether you're going to continue with that golf club. I reckon the amount of shots I've hit so far, I reckon I've hit about 3 that I'm actually happy with. They've all been a bit, the coordination hasn't felt great. It's all felt a bit all over the place, to be quite honest. It's a Saturday and out here with Barnabas filming, and it just feels all a little bit clunky. So, but it's not putting me off. It's not making me stay with any in particular golf club. As I say, I'm really in my mindset of I know how I want to move around the golf ball. I'm cold. I'm just trying to warm up the engine. But the key component is that I know all of the assets that I'm trying to lean on as a golfer, and what I'm not doing is allowing the good and bad shots I hit to determine how many shots. That was a decent one. I'm not allowing the shot to determine how long I'm going to hang out with this golf club. I've picked 4 shots as my number, and that can vary depending on how much time I've got, how engaged I feel about practicing and warming up. Sometimes it might only be a couple, or it might even be as little as 1. But all I need to do is I just need to warm the cogs up, not only physically, that was another nice one, not only physically, but mentally. I'm thinking about how I want to think about and feel the day. It's so easy for amateur golfers to just get involved in this golf ball. What's that ball going to give me, as opposed to seeing the big picture? And if you could see the big picture of the day, this is such a small amount of your day, but yet so many golfers determine their day, or certainly the first, second, third hole of their day, determine it by how this practice session goes. That hole's getting bigger that Barney's digging there. So, last one of these before we move on to the 3-wooden driver. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty not happy with that. So let's move on to the 3. Definitely off the tee. Not really going to engage off of the floor. It's not certainly a shot that I want to use as a warm-up. Just want to get some nice strikes here with the 3-wood. That was a nice one. That was a nice one. Again, all of a sudden feels a little bit different. Obviously now we're off the turf. Now I'm really feeling the post up of the left leg. I'm really feeling the swing of the golf club. Now I really start to feel the energy. And I've talked at great length about the energy down at the golf ball. As golfers, how often do we truly feel that lever unload and swing? Look at how much energy that's coming out of that lever down at the bottom. If we just kept on pulling, look how much we would lose out on that transfer of energy. But understanding what needs to be in place to allow that to happen is really, really important. Very good. I'm gonna go one more. I think that was my 3rd one. I'm pretty sure it was. Let's go on to the last one. Pressure into the left. pull the golf club, open up and swing. Lovely. All right, let's get the driver out. Out of all of golf, without question, the warm-up is my most dreaded and hated part of the day. Cold, feel stiff, you know. And I think when you look at the best players in the world, you know, I've had a decent amount of time with Colin Montgomery. He comes down at Precision Golf, and you know, he's been a prolific golfer over the years. And I asked him a little while ago, I said, you know, how flexible are you? Do you get stiff? And he said, you know, he's been lucky enough to feel incredibly flexible over the years. And when I play a lot of golf, and I'm a reasonably flexible guy, just feel tight, feel stiff. And you know, the older you get, the more that comes at you, which is all the more reason why we want these levers working for us. And you know, you look at Monty's swing, you know, very much a leverage kind of golf swing, isn't it? Lots of lever, lots of set, lot of unload. And it's something that we really shy away from now. And we hear instruction with less set, more body turn. You know, when we think about more body turn through the golf ball, we immediately think of no leverage, more trunk, and we don't want to allow this set and unset to occur. It has to happen, and the more it happens, actually, the more speed a golfer will actually acquire. And that's why we see, you know, long golf swings with powerful players. Short back swings are actually less powerful players. Gives them a bit more accuracy. Then you have to overlay that with more muscle bound. So there's a balancing act of leverage, strength, coordination in the golf swing. I digress, sorry about that. Let's get on to the warm-up, Stuart. I want to hear about what you think. So again, same feels. Oh, if I was a betting man, I'd say I ripped that one. That was nice. That was nice. Maybe I should use the Colin Montgomery practice swing a bit more often. That was nice. Let's go again. I mean, if I was on my own, I wasn't doing this video, I'd probably leave it at that, because you know, I've warmed up, I've hit a nice one. Can only get worse from there. That was pretty nice as well. Nice high draw. Nice high draw. And again. Let's see. Set, pressure, push, swing. Yep. I'm going to leave it there. It's 3 nice ones. Don't want to you know, push matters. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the driver back and get my lob wedge out. So I've got four balls left, almost like I planned it. And I'm just going to hit some little pitch shots just in case I miss the first green. Barney's hole is getting bigger by the moment. I need to get off this range. You know, all of a sudden I'm bringing the energy back down, and I'm just allowing myself to get some feel back into the game and just touch on the contact at low speed, ready for the golf course. Well, I hope you've got something out of that. That's something slightly different, just giving you some insight into how I would warm up, how I'd instruct a tour player to warm up, how I'd instruct a client to warm up. So much away from technique. There is technique in there, no doubt, but it's not the be all and end all. I'm not shot focused. I'm not outcome focused. I'm thinking about the big picture on the day, how I want to feel about the day, how I want to apply myself. And if you can really detach yourself from the outcome, I think it really gives you an opportunity to not get involved in a really great range session or a poor range session. The more you just look at the big picture of the day, I think the better you'll be. If you've enjoyed that, do give it a like, and maybe subscribe while you're here. But thank you so much for watching, and I think you'll find that, my friends, is good coaching.